Hello, and welcome to another edition of Watching Washington, a public affairs program from the Brian Lamb School of Communication. It's Sunday, October 5th, and this is our first show of the fall 2025 semester. I'm Maria Vaughter.
And I'm Paige Gonzalez. Let's take a look at the stories making headlines this week. Despite Republican pushes for a short-term plan and a Democratic counter, lawmakers failed to pass a government funding bill. For the first time in 7 years, the U.S. government has officially shut down.
There are critical things that need to be saved. We're going to do everything that we can over the coming weeks, if the shutdown lasts that long, to ensure that people get the essential services that they need, despite the fact that Chuck Schumer has shut down the federal government. It's not going to be perfect because we are in a government shutdown. We are going to have to lay some people off if the shutdown continues. We don't like that. We don't necessarily want to do it, but we're going to do what we have to keep the American people's essential services continuing to run.
In response, President Donald Trump has threatened mass layoffs and cuts to government programs, with nearly 750,000 federal workers expected to be sidelined by the shutdown. Economic fallout is expected, with Republican priorities, such as deportation, to continue, as Vice President J.D. Vance says extraordinary measures will be taken, with funding for education and health care, two top Democratic priorities, being threatened.
On Tuesday, President Trump revealed an effort to lower drug costs in the U.S. that includes the creation of a direct-to-consumer website named Trump RX, where Americans can buy medicine at discounted prices. Sources say the plans also include a deal with Pfizer to cut the cost of its medications. They have agreed to implement measures to ensure Americans receive comparable drug prices to those that are available in other developed countries.
These drugs will be available for direct purchase online at a website operated by the federal government. We're also announcing that moving forward, all new medications introduced by Pfizer to the American market will be sold at the reduced most favored nation cost. So we'll be paying essentially what other countries are paying, who have been much lower for many, many years.
The Trump administration has withdrawn its nomination to head the Bureau of Labor Statistics, E.J. Antoni, who served as chief economist of the Heritage Foundation. The withdrawal of Antoni comes after posts have resurfaced of Antoni posting sexually degrading insults toward former Vice President Kamala Harris on a now-deleted Twitter account. The now-deleted account also had derogatory comments about the LGBTQ+ community and crude insults against the president's critics. Beyond these reports, Antoni was an unpopular pick across both sides of the aisle, with Republican Senator Lisa Murkowski raising concerns about Antoni's nomination. The president nominated Antoni in August, following the firing of former Commissioner Erica McIntyre, whom the president accused without evidence of rigging a low job numbers report.
On Tuesday, President Trump said that his administration was close to reaching a multi-million-dollar agreement with Harvard University, which would end a months-long standoff. He said it would include a $500 million payment from the university that would be used to create a series of trade schools that would be run by Harvard. The school argued it had taken substantial measures to address the issue.
By opening up trade school, because we're going to need employees, we're going to need people with skill. And I think I can say, Linda, you feel the same way. By opening up trade school, this would be a giant trade school, series of trade schools. It would be run by Harvard. Now, this is something that we're close to finalizing. We haven't done it yet. But they'd put up $500 million. Interest and everything else would go to that account, meaning go to the trade school. And, it's a big investment in trade school, done by very smart people. And then their sins are forgiven. So we have a good chance of getting that close.
Several other Ivy League schools have made deals with the Trump administration in recent months, including Columbia University and Brown University, which accepted certain government demands.
The New York City mayoral race continues to heat up after the incumbent Eric Adams dropped out of the race on September 28th. Adams faced escalating pressure in recent weeks to drop out of the race. due to low polling numbers and to clear the crowded candidate field. Adams released a video statement on X announcing that he was dropping out of the race. He spoke about the victories of his first term and stated, quote, "I am proud to say that we took that victory 4 years ago and turned it into action, making the city better for those who had been failed by government." This decision comes after months of political frenzy between the other candidates. State Assembly member and the Democratic nominee, Zohran Mamdani, and former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, who is running as an independent. The election will be held on November 4th.
As 2026 midterms elections approach, many states are redrawing their congressional districts, a movement put into play by White House pressure and redistricting efforts in Texas. Latino voting and civil rights organizations have taken the state of Texas to court, arguing that newly drawn districts violate the Voting Rights Act because they were drawn based on race. A preliminary injunction hearing began on Wednesday and will continue until October 10th. Lawmakers hope the case is resolved before December 8th, the filing deadline for the candidacy in the midterms. In response to action in Texas, California is redrawing their districts to make up for the Democratic seats potentially lost. Other states might take action as well, including Indiana. Governor Mike Braun is considering holding a session in November to redraw districts. According to State Representative Carrie Hamilton, this would cause the state's only 2 Democratic seats to turn Republican, while 40 to 45% of Hoosiers are Democrats. Residents like Barb Barker are concerned.
Having our rights taken away, I feel that decisions are being made that aren't for the common good.
Up next, it's Fat Bear Week. We'll tell you what that is and which bear took home the title.
Plus, a Purdue College Access program has ended. We'll tell you which one and why it ended. Stay with us. More Watching Washington next.
From Spain. G'day, mates. Buenos dias.
Bonjour.
Hello from South Korea.
I'm studying abroad in Valencia, Spain this semester. I'm studying abroad in Sydney, Australia. I'm studying abroad in Madrid, Spain.
Studying at Seoul National University.
At Issy Supero in Toulouse, France.
And I'm really getting to enjoy meeting all the new people and the culture.
How different it is from Purdue University.
It is an absolutely fantastic experience. I'm living my best life.
I can't wait to see you guys all overseas soon. A bientôt.
Adiós. Nos vemos en España.
I'm Rachel. I'm 19 years old. I'm a sophomore in computer engineering here at Purdue, and I'm the president of DAO. So DAO stands for Dance All Out, and it's kind of like a community where all dancers of different skill levels and artists have a space to express themselves and be artists and perform. We perform at things like the AAA Night Market and the VA, the Variation Showcase, at the end of the semester. We even had our own showcase last year, and that was really exciting. DAO not only offers like weekly classes and performance opportunities, but kind of like a really strong community / family to do it with. When people talk about college, or when you see in like coming of age movies, it's all about like the main character finding like the place where they belong, whether it's in school or like extracurricular or like with their friends or another hobby. But like this could be the place where you find like your coming of age moment, and like it could be the place where you discover like a big part of your life.
Fat Bear Week. Hosted by Katmai National Park, Explore.org, and Katmai Conservancy, is an annual celebration of brown bears preparing for winter hibernation in Katmai National Park and Preserve, Alaska. Each fall, the event showcases Katmai's bears as they pack on pounds during a natural phenomenon called hyperphagia. This single elimination tournament invites the public to vote for the bear that best exemplifies success in getting fat to survive the winter. A bear weighing in at over 1,200 pounds, with a broken but healing jaw, is the 2025 Fat Bear Champion. It's the first time number 32, or as he's nicknamed, Chunk, has been dubbed the fattest bear. What began in 2014 as a one-day event has grown into a global phenomenon, highlighting the resilience of brown bears, the importance of healthy salmon runs, and the vibrant ecosystems that sustain them.
On Wednesday morning, an explosion shook a Mitchell House apartment building in the Bronx, New York, causing one corner of the building to collapse completely. The portion of the building which collapsed was the garbage incinerator shaft. The explosion was reportedly caused by a gas leak. Luckily, there was no fatalities and no injuries in the event. We have more from Representative Richie Torres on the matter.
It's actually a federal housing development, and so my view is that HUD, the Department of Housing and Urban Development, needs to do everything it can to assist the city of New York in restoring the building and in relocating these families.
This story highlights a focal issue in the upcoming election, and there is pressure for incumbent politicians to handle it smoothly, as it will be fresh in the minds of New Yorkers at the voting booth.
Purdue University abruptly ended a major college access program for low-income students this Tuesday after the Trump administration pulled $34.9 million in federal funding. The funding supported Gear Up, a program serving more than 13,000 Indiana students with mentoring and college prep opportunities. The grant was announced just last year in a Purdue press release and was expected to continue through 2031. Federal officials said parts of Purdue's application, including diversity, equity, and inclusion training and culturally responsive teaching, did not align with department policy.
It has been a little over a week since television show host and comedian Jimmy Kimmel's show returned to the air after a brief suspension. To kick off the return of Jimmy Kimmel Live, Kimmel welcomed The Late Show host Stephen Colbert. The two appeared on each other's show in a special talk show crossover episode. The host reflected on their shows being canceled and where they were when they heard the news. Colbert's show was permanently canceled in early September due to financial challenges and the expiration of his contract with CBS. They also discussed their years of friendship together and with other late-night hosts like Jimmy Fallon, Jon Stewart, John Oliver, and Seth Meyers. They ended the night with a toast to good friends, great jobs, and late-night TV.
Protests in the United Kingdom have erupted after Prime Minister Keir Starmer announced his intention to make digital IDs mandatory for all workers. Starmer believes mandatory digital IDs will help combat illegal migrants from taking jobs. But UK citizens are more concerned for their personal information being stolen or exploited through their devices. More than 1.6 million UK citizens have signed a petition to block the mandate, while others have taken to the streets in protest, calling digital IDs a step towards mass surveillance and digital control.
Our in-studio guest this week is Kara Smith.
The full interview just ahead on Watching Washington.
And Paralympics are unified as one, and where all athletes at all levels have equal opportunities to play and perform at their full potential.
Athletics has been such an influential and transformative aspect of my life. So to me, RISE is about ensuring that every person that has the desire to participate in sport has the opportunity to do so.
This organization is about recognition. We believe in recognizing excellence where it is found, especially in Paralympic sports.
RISE is about driving change in our community and beyond. We hope that through our events and initiatives, we can galvanize people for our cause and inspire them to create an ever-growing network to help achieve our mission.
It's about connecting people of various backgrounds and who truly care about creating meaningful change together.
We develop projects and hold events to bring people together at the interface of inclusivity, sports, and engineering.
Our goal is to promote the equality of all sports and to improve sports performance and accessibility.
Join us so that you can have a major contribution in creating meaningful change.
We have a special guest with us this week.
Kara Smith is the Academic Program Manager for the Center for C-SPAN Scholarship and Engagement. Let's go now to Watching Washington's Connor Southerly, who is standing by with this week's interview.
I'm with Kara Smith, the Academic Program Manager for the Center of C-SPAN Scholarship and Engagement, or CCSE for short. And CCSE offers a lot of opportunities during the semester, throughout the entire year. And one of the biggest opportunities that they offer is the Boilers Go to DC program every year. So could you tell us a little bit about BGDC? What is it exactly? What do you do? Just a little information about that.
Sure, Connor, I'm happy to help you. So Boilers Go to DC is essentially our kind of flagship brand for two main courses that we offer through the Brian Lamb School of Communication. So the first is the Boilers Go to DC Maymester program. That's an experience for students out in the summer where they're there for 10 days in DC. This is more of kind of a getting your foot in the door, getting your feet wet, and learning really what it is that makes Washington, D.C. special. So students have an opportunity to take a political communication course with us and are fully immersed in all of the different things that really make D.C. shine. So a couple of really cool site visits and places that students get to go. Places like NASA, U.S. Department of State, the Peace Corps, U.S. International Trade Commission, where we'll learn about tariffs and patent law and all of those big topics.
Very relevant today.
Absolutely. Very, very much relevant to all of the things that students are learning in the classroom. A really great aspect about that program is it's open to all majors. It's open to all majors. Housing is included. So for students who are a little stressed, maybe you're international or out of state students, it's also a flat rate for students. So every student is paying the exact same fee with us, which is a really great opportunity there. The Summer Scholars Program is kind of like the big brother to the Boilers Go to DC Maymester program. Instead of 10 days, you'll be in DC for 10 weeks. And you will be fully interning and fully immersed in DC for the entire summer from June through August. So those students are responsible for finding and securing an internship that they are passionate about. And we here at the CCSE, we work directly with those students all spring semester, kind of as a precursor, get them ready, help them find the internship that works for them. And then once they secure that internship, they're out in DC for 10 weeks, living it up, having a great time.
That's great.
Yes, as a young professional. So it's a really great jumping off point for students who are interested in kind of seeing where that everything that they're learning in their classes, whether it's theory, whether it's practical, and really seeing it in full force. That's really what the Summer Scholars Program is all about, is giving students those opportunities to understand what it takes to be a young professional, understand what it takes to kind of elevate their career. So I can't say enough about both programs. I love them both. I highly recommend them to students, not only because I make the programs and I help do these programs every summer, but it's also going to be the 250th of the United States this summer. So it's going to be a very exciting time to be out in DC, a lot of really great cultural events, special exhibitions that they're only featuring in the summer this year. It's a really great time to go. So I can't emphasize it enough.
So for the summer program, it's an internship program. So where have students interned in the past? I think maybe that'll be helpful to know, like, get a gauge on where to intern or apply.
Yeah, absolutely. So when I say any and all industries or any and all places that students can work, I truly mean it. I've had students work in places that you might expect, places like Capitol Hill or with Senate members, working with committees. But I've also had students working in, big engineering firms, law firms, nationally known companies, places like NBC News, Echelon Insights, Parsons Corporation, K&L Gates Law Firm are some of the ones that come to mind. If you're a student who's interested in nonprofit work or maybe some more intimate, more personal interactions there. I've had a student work with the UN Refugee Agency. Really great work that's being done that way as well. So whether it's industry, whether it's government adjacent, for-profit, nonprofit, trade associations is another big one that we've seen a lot of students work for. Really, the sky's the limit as long as the student's willing to put in the work.
Awesome. So for like the main master program, where in the past have you gone? Like what buildings have you been able to go to? Who have you been able to meet? Sure, there's a lot of pretty high profile people you've been able to meet.
Yes, so Purdue is definitely no stranger to very high profile alumni. So our DC alumni boilers are very, very much interconnected with this program. So one person that comes to mind is Kevin Metrokavich. He works, he's the director of the International Space Station.
Wow.
He's also a Purdue alum. So getting to actually watch the International Space Station fly by, getting to see the astronauts in front of you on TV, seeing what they're doing, the types of projects they're doing, and then having Kevin talk about, why this is important, what areas of science, math, and really just society in general, how that's benefiting all of us is really, really insightful. As I said, the U.S. International Trade Commission was a very, very popular one. This past summer, I had a lot of students who were interested in business, or maybe they wanted to pursue law, right? That's a big choice to make, to pursue law school. So I had a lot of students very interested in understanding those mechanics and understanding the legalese behind all of these, multi-million-dollar changes. What does it take to see a product go all the way through, being named, being analyzed, and then hitting the shelves for our everyday consumers. Going to big lobbying firms like Business Roundtable. Matt Miller is one of our coolest alum. He's truly an amazing person, and he is very, very high up in Business Roundtable. And so getting to understand the lobbying side of this angle and really kind of putting into perspective those interactions between government and big business and economy is huge. We spent 2 days on Capitol Hill.
Wow.
One day where students get to actually sit in a committee hearing of their choosing.
Wow, that's
So
a huge
some of-
opportunity. That's
Absolutely. So whether it was students were interested in agriculture or energy, weapons, defense, I had students going to Rubio hearings, Marco Rubio hearings, or the RFK Jr. hearings that we've been hearing so much about.
Yeah.
Our students physically got to sit in that room and listen to those conversations as they were happening. That was day one. And then the second day, we came back to Capitol Hill. And we got to take an official tour, as you would imagine, but then also got to do this and talk to members of the Indiana delegation. So both Senator Todd Young, Senator Jim Banks, and as many members of the Indiana delegation as we could get. That's what we did. And they sit and talk with students. They were talking about, at the time, this past summer, we were on Capitol Hill the day of the One Big Beautiful Bill passing in the House of Representatives. So there was really no crazier time to really see that inner process in full force. So that was definitely a really exciting one. Department of State was very, very interesting. So if students are interested in foreign service, if they're interested in kind of that understanding of like the global impact and where the United States fits into that, that was a really great opportunity for a lot of my students there. I really enjoyed the Peace Corps. We've got a couple of alumni who actually work in the Peace Corps actively. Ryan Moore is one of them who comes to mind. And he's a fabulous person to really understand what it takes to, again, make that global impact, but also that personal impact. Peace Corps is a really great opportunity for students to do that. And then I'm trying to think, one of the students' favorite things, and certainly one of mine as well, is the National Mall Walk with Brian Lamb.
Oh yeah.
Brian Lamb.
Oh, he's great. He's a wonderful person.
Many students know, yes, Brian is the founder of C-SPAN. He's a Lafayette local. He's a Purdue alum. Yeah. He's one of 3 Presidential Medal of Freedom winners that Purdue has to offer. It's him, it's Neil Armstrong, and John Wooden. And so he's up there with the best of the best that Purdue has to offer. And there's no cooler person to walk you around the monuments and tell you all of these very historical, very timely stories about just seeing kind of history come alive and how history repeats itself in certain ways than Brian, because he's seen it all. He's been in DC for the last, 40 years probably. And so to pick his brain and to also have someone who is so passionate about sharing news and sharing information while also, he is very good at kind of putting a positive spin on what we think can be very dark or very intense at times. He always finds a way to kind of tell students that, hey, like, no matter what it is that's happening out in the world of politics in DC, like, you can make a positive impact. And I think that's a really good motivator for students to pursue either public service or anything related to that.
So I know that there's the application process and the deadline is approaching. So could you tell us just a little bit about the application process? When's the deadline? What should students have ready?
Yes. So like I said, since there's 2 different programs,
yes,
we split those up by semester. So that way it shouldn't get too confusing. But the Summer Scholars Program is open now. That is the one that is currently active and open this fall semester. Applications for that are due October 31st, so Halloween, easy to remember.
End of the month, okay.
Yes, end of the month. And what you need for that is you'll fill out the application, the Summer Scholars application online through a Qualtrics survey. And most importantly are your 2 letters of recommendation. That really is the two most important pieces there, because that's going to give us a taste of who you are, what you're excited about, the type of worker that you are. And that's a really good way to kind of see what types of students and what you're really looking for. For the Maymester program, applications aren't open until January. So students who are interested in that have plenty of time to think about it, talk to their parents and their guardians and see if this is something that they want to do for the summer. And those applications will open and then close around February time, February, March. So again, plenty of time to do that. Another good thing that I should mention is the financial scholarships that we offer. So that's a big thing for students, right? Because something like study abroad or study away can be very expensive. So making sure that students feel cared for and supported financially is a huge thing that we try to assist with as much as possible. So for the Summer Scholars Program, we actually have 8 partners within the College of Liberal Arts, as well as the John Marston Honors College, who are funding DC fellowships. And those are $5,000 stipends for students to go out and intern in DC. So that is an opportunity that is unique to the Summer Scholars Program. We also offer the Boilers Go to DC Financial Needs Scholarship, which essentially is a letter that you'll submit to me, basically explaining your financial need and expressing your need for additional support for that. And we work with every student individually on a case-by-case basis to try and help and assist that student as much as possible. That's an opportunity that is open for both summer scholars as well as Maymasters. So we have financial awards set aside for both of those programs.
Nice. So where can you find more information on Boilers Go to DC?
Absolutely. So there's quite a few ways that you can do it. Yep. We try to be as interconnected with the pulse of the student body as we can. Mm-hmm. Social media is a really big thing that we try to use. That's where most students are. So Instagram, you can find us at Center for C-SPAN on Instagram. You can also check out our LinkedIn. LinkedIn is very important. I will highly encourage students to get involved in LinkedIn and using that platform as young professionals. Certainly, I recommend it. So you can also find us there at Center for C-SPAN Scholarship and Engagement. You can also check us out on our website. We have a website. It's constantly being updated with new things and new exciting ideas, new things we're trying to push, and obviously the programs, deadlines, and all those important dates you can certainly find on our website. And when in doubt, always refer back to the Brian Lamb School of Communication and you'll find it.
Okay. Well, that's all the time we have today. Thank you so much for talking to us about BGDC. I think a lot of people now have a clear idea of what exactly it is and what to do. So thank you so much for coming on today.
Yeah, you're so welcome. I greatly appreciate it.
That's all the time we have today. Thank you to our guest, Kara Smith, for being with us today.
And thank you for watching. See you next time on Watching Washington.